All right. This is Joe from the JoeDWhite Talks radio program. Good evening. We're broadcasting all the way from Maryville, Illinois. And I have a really wonderful guest tonight. He is a voiceover actor. He is a writer. He is a blogger. He is an LGBTQ activist. His name is Ben Patrick Johnson. Mr. Johnson, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am, and you don't call me Mr. Johnson, for God's sakes. I'm Ben. Ben is fine.
Okay, Ben.
It's not every day that I have the honor of being on a broadcast that's live worldwide from Illinois. I mean, that's something to crow about.
Well, thank you very much. My station director, my station manager, is getting a big head right now. Well, sir. You've done a lot of voiceover acting work with a lot of different networks, such as Fox, CBS, like films.
Bloomberg, right. I think at one time or other I've been a significant voice on each of the major broadcast networks, but I've spent the most time with CBS. And I have a couple of hit shows on CBS now that I'm doing the announce for, and I do all of Bloomberg and, off and on here and there. It's really a great gig to have. I'm thrilled to be in the position that I am and to have had this. And for so many years, I mean, I'm in my 40s, and I started doing this, late teens. And so some of these gigs I've had for 10, 15, even 20 years. And it's amazing how many of in this world.
So you started at 18, 16?
Well, more or less. I mean, I started doing internships at even younger, 14, 15.
Oh, wow.
And I got my first real on-air job doing album rock on a radio station evenings in the Minneapolis market when I had to lie about my age and fudge some documents so that I could, at 16, do an evening shift. And then I had my first national show when I was 18. So I had the advantage of knowing pretty early on what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to do something in media and broadcasting, and radio, and then moving into production and voiceovers was just where it led.
So how? So basically, you just reached out to these local media, like the local radio shows, saying, "I want to do this stuff."
Reach out is one way you could say, or bang on the door until they answered and finally let me in would be another way of putting it.
Right.
And but I managed to make a lot of noise and get in the door and make something for myself. It just kind of went from there. I had the voice early on that sort of commanded some attention, and that absolutely helped me. But then I think other than that, more than talent or skill, it was just tenacity.
Right. Because you have that really low bassy voice, which is kind of cool.
Well, thank you.
Not a problem. So you also wrote a lot of books. I mean, that's
I've written a lot. I've actually had the good fortune to have 5 of them published. I've written a few more in The Light of Day or Ink. But I confound editors and publishers by jumping around genre to genre.
Okay.
And a left turn here, a right turn there. But the predominant genre which I write is contemporary LGBT fiction.
Right.
With somewhat of a humor bent. My most notable and successful book to date, though, is one called If the Rains Don't Cleanse, which is nothing to do with LGBT and nothing to do with humor. It's a feminist novel set in Africa in the 1950s in Congo, where my parents, in real life, were stationed missionaries for the United Church of Christ. And I heard all these stories growing up, little anecdotes about, the time your big sister was in the log canoe and the hippopotamus came, and wow, it all just seemed like fiction.
Right.
And I wanted to get all these anecdotes written down or recorded in some way while my parents were still alive. And that began a 14-year journey for this book, which ended up as a piece of fiction based in reality, certainly thematically, and a lot of anecdotes are drawn from real life. But it turned into quite a striking piece, and I'm very proud of it. Most recently, I wrote a book called Splinters about a young gay couple in West Hollywood struggling with one of them having a crystal meth addiction, and the way that influences all of their interactions. So strikingly different subject matter on two different books, my second to most recent and then my most recent. But hopefully, when we look back at my life years from now, it will all kind of make sense in a sort of a patchwork quilt way.
Right. Tell me about this book, One Size Fits All, because I'm really interested in that one.
One Size Fits All. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're welcome to cut me off.
One Size Fits All is the story of, if you will, a dress or several dresses, and who gets himself in a lot of trouble promising too many things to too many people. It's a cautionary tale set in West Hollywood. It's part of really a trilogy of books that I wrote with the same basic characters, and we move focus from one to the other to the next. But they all live together and they're friends, and their lives impact one another. That was probably, I had the most fun writing that book of any of the books I've written. It's probably the one that most aptly, I should say, could be categorized as humor.
So yeah, I can definitely see it becoming like a major motion picture someday.
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a moment. Our phone connection's not fantastic. Can you say that again?
It could be a major motion picture one day, like The Devil Wears Prada or something.
Well, I would like to think so.
Yeah.
From your mouth to Hollywood's ears, my friend.
Exactly. Maybe we should get together and see if I can write the screenplay and just pitch it.
Maybe so. I'll meet you, somewhere around Robertson Boulevard, Beverly Hills. We'll take lunch at one of the Beverly Hills eateries, and we can even look around and see what movie stars are having lunch that day and pick people out for the cast. How about that?
Cool. I've never been to Hollywood before. I've been to San Rafael, which is kind of...
well, the good news is there's no fences. You can just drive here and come right on in. And whether we welcome you or not, you can come and park your car and be here anytime you want.
Well, that's cool. So just to let you know, we're a Geek Chic radio station, not a radio station, but a radio show. We have like a lot of talk shows that deal with different formats, but we deal with geek popular culture. Have you watched any geek stuff lately, like Game of Thrones or?
Well, I do like Game of Thrones. I haven't watched it just lately. Orange is the New Black. I can never get enough of. And one of my dear friends is on one of the crime shows, so I watch her show. But because you have to, because your friends say, "What did you think of it?" And you're like, "I don't know. I never watched your show. I have no idea." That doesn't work. So you have to, tune in. But I would have to say, geek stuff. The more geek stuff I do is more. I'll listen to the opera Einstein on the Beach by Philip Glass, and I'm sitting there counting things in 5/4 time and 7/4 and 9/4 and trying to pull mathematical equations out of the music, which is, and that's more nerd than geek. I'm not sure. How does one differentiate? I don't know where it draws the lines on that one. But I certainly am. I'm definitely a nerd. I'm probably a geek.
Well, that's cool. I would compare that to I can't remember what that movie was. It was a movie. Not with Stephen Hawking. It was the other genius that could see. Russell Crowe
played the character.
Yes, A Beautiful Mind. Yes.
No, I think you're referring to the one about the gay guy, right? The code breaker in World War II.
He created digital media. He was the father of all things digital.
Well, we can just name a bunch of people there. No, it was certainly, if it's a flattering comparison, I'll take it. If it's not, I reject you. How about that?
I'm trying to be flattering.
Oh, all right. Then I'll accept it and bow and say thank you very much.
Okay. Just to let you know, I've only seen like the first 2 or 3 episodes of Orange is the New Black. I'm right at the point where I'm watching the poor blonde girl being chastised by the cafeteria lady, the lady that used to play in Star Trek.
Which in itself, there's a certain amount of a geek qualification there.
Right. But I just
so yeah, but then she goes on and she gets a lot more than chastised. I'll tell you. For everyone else listening, let me now spend the next 20 minutes going through the entire synopsis of Orange is the New Black. No, but for the season 1, and then this happens because you haven't seen it yet, and we love you and we want you to be caught up. Orange is the New Black. I would say watch it. It's a great show. Yes, it's my endorsement. 4 years later, watch it.
I'm trying to get caught up. There's so much geek stuff. You just wouldn't believe it. I'm trying to get caught up with The Flash. I'm trying to get caught up with. I'm caught up with Game of Thrones. Penny Dreadful is one of my other favorite shows.
Well, dude, if you're trying to get caught up on geek stuff, I mean, this is the geek renaissance. This is a brilliant time to be a geek, and you've got your work cut out if you fall behind. I've fallen behind. I'll admit it. But if you're trying to stay current, man, you've got work to do.
I know. I've got all the books. I'm still working on book 5 of Game of Thrones.
But I'm sorry, you were just talking about Penny Dreadful, right?
Penny Dreadful, yes.
What draws you to Penny Dreadful?
What drew me to Penny Dreadful? Because when I was a teenager,
if you're done with it, then we won't talk about it.
Well, no, I'm caught up with it. What drew me in was the lady that plays Vanessa Ives, Eva Green.
Mm-hmm.
I love her acting, and then when I was a teenager, I was addicted to horror movies, like every classic horror movie you can ever think of. And
what does that say about us when we're someone who is particularly drawn to horror films? Was it an escape for you? What did it mean to you?
What does it mean to me?
What do the horror films mean to you?
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
I would say it's an adrenaline rush.
Uh-huh. See, I'm the opposite. I'm burrowing myself back into the sofa and covering my eyes.
Yeah.
You're leaning forward on your seat, anticipating.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you come out the winner on that one.
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I loved horror movies, except the worst horror movie ever was not even technically a horror movie, but it was like a sci-fi horror film, The Fly, the remake with Jeff Goldblum.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Ordinary People. No, which you didn't like that, huh? You did not like The Fly?
Well, I was 9. And there were my mother. I love her to death, though, but she tries to protect me. And when the bad parts come up, I have to close my hands, and then I have to go to the other room. And at the end, I had to go to the other room because it freaked me out.
I had an experience when I was, younger than that. I must have been 7 or 8, and even 6. And my dad we had father-son night, and we were going to go to the drive-in movies, which was a huge deal. Mm-hmm. And my father said that I got to pick what movies we went to. So, in my wisdom, I chose the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes, a double feature, the original ones. And I just remember having the bejesus just scared the stuffing out of me, and I just didn't want to live any longer. After about 15 minutes into the first movie, I was so horrified. And I just, maybe that's where my aversion to horror films came from. It was just, that dose was enough. I was overwhelmed.
I think with Penny Dreadful, it's kind of a different thing because it's kind of like you got all these characters from these horror films, but in more like a soap opera kind of setting,
Gotcha.
God, what's that?
And also, you're not 7, so that helps also.
No, I'm not 7, but sometimes I like to think I'm 7.
Close, so
let's see. What was that soap opera that I was thinking about? Dark something. They tried it to make it in a movie with Johnny Depp.
They've tried to make a lot of things in the movies with Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, I like him as an actor. I I don't know what happened with the new Alice in Wonderland film. That one tanked, just depressingly. But with Penny Dreadful,
Yes.
you have the first season. I don't know. Have you seen the show yet?
You know I haven't. I've talked about it. I've read promos, but I haven't actually watched the show.
Oh, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's so good. It does have some parts where it's gory, but there are other parts where you just like, oh, this is so good. But it has, the cliffhangers and all that other normal stuff of other, soap opera TV shows.
Well, if you wanted to sell Penny Dreadful to an audience, give me 3 words that you would use to describe Penny Dreadful, and then I'll give you a promo based on that. How about that?
Sure.
So go ahead and give me 3 words that you think of.
3 words. Okay. Unique.
Unique is a good start.
Unique is a good step. I would say contemporary. And the last one, I would say creative.
All right. So if I were to do the promo, I might say something like, it's unique, it's contemporary, it's creative, Penny Dreadful, watch it. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And there, look, you've written your first promo. Congratulations.
Oh, my good Lord.
You'll make $73. And you'll get pension, though. You'll get pension and health care. So that's important.
Well, right now I do get pension. Well, not pension, but I do get...
So we'll get more pension. $78 worth.
$78 worth.
I
Hey.
just made up that number. I don't know how much writers are paid to do promo. That's embarrassing. I know how much I'm paid. I don't know how much they're paid. I wonder if they know how much I'm paid. I hope they know.
Well, I don't know if you guys are in a union.
We certainly are. The Screen Actors Guild is what we've come up with a name for it, and that's what we like to call it.
Okay, so you're in basically with the same union with the other major Hollywood actors.
Other major, pardon me?
The major Hollywood actors.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh.
Both the major ones and then the minor ones like me. We're all in the same union.
I don't think of you as minor. I think you as pretty major.
My colleagues prefer to think of me as minor.
Well, you're too humble. Way too humble.
Well, that's what you say.
Okay. So what part of you in Game of Thrones are you caught up with?
It's been a spell. I can't even tell you the plot points because I didn't know we were going to go into this deep. But I'm just fascinated by, first of all, there's a lot of really good-looking guys on that show. Got to tell you, as a homosexual, I'm quite entertained. Also, I love people being thrown off walls. For some reason, that's just entertaining for me.
Uh-huh.
And the White Walkers, they're wonderful. Anything that sort of relates to trees and wolf-like makes me happy. So I just get it. It's all around entertainment for someone like me. And frankly, sometimes I have such ADHD or whatever you want to call it that I'm not even really following the plot. I just see hot guys and there's sex and there's people being thrown off walls. There's cold things. There's hot things.
Exactly.
There's ships. There's that blonde lady. Oh, it's just I'm very happy.
Daenerys Targaryen. Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we call her Christina Aguilera. So hey, I mean.
And I bet she takes that as a compliment.
Exactly. But no, she'll probably say, "Ooh, I'm more than Christina Aguilera. I'm the unburnt. I'm the blah blah blah."
She's the Christina Aguilera. They used to call Raisa Gorbachev the Princess Diana of the steppes in Russia. So she can be the Christina Aguilera of the whichever realm.
Yeah. That's cool. I didn't think about that. Okay. Okay, so what do you think, I don't know if you're caught up with the Jon Snow situation.
I am not. Maybe you need to educate me and the 7 listeners who do not know
about
Jon Snow. The few ignorant among us.
the end of season 5, Jon Snow dies. He was set up as the captain of the Night's Watch. There was an internal feud, and there were some parts of the night, the group of the Night's Watch. They surrounded him and stabbed him, and he fell on the ground and he bled to death. So he was,
which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was a huge shocker to some of the people who haven't read the books, but it was at the end of the 5th book. And then at the beginning of season 6, you meet Melisandre again. You remember who is the witch who celebrated and practiced a religion called the Lord of Light. And she basically brought Jon Snow back from the dead. Which, again, you have the wonderful scene of Jon Snow being naked, and him rising up.
Like all the stuff you set up before then, it could have been like, Bueller, and then you said Jon Snow naked, and suddenly I'm paying attention again. Oh,
exactly.
Well, let me see that. I want to fast forward on the DVR to that. It's probably why I don't know what's going on so much in the show. Because I'm too busy fast forwarding the DVR, trying to see attractive people without their pants on.
Exactly. Why? I have no idea on earth why they don't even show the D. You know what I'm talking about.
The D.
The D.
Well, I assume you're not talking Dungeons and Dragons. I assume you're talking about the dick. Is that what you mean? I'll say it. That's not one of the FCC's words that we can't say. We can say dick.
We can
on both broadcast and non-broadcast. Well, I can tell you why, and I do know why, and it's because for years censors have been men, and we live in a patriarchal society, and so the display or pseudo-display of female genitalia is not considered nearly as risque as the display of male nudity.
Right.
And that's just the way it's been for a long time, and it's slowly changing, but wow, it's going to take a long time before we truly get where we need to be.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about the D.
What? I didn't
and I
know
thought of the dragons. The dragons.
That it would be something coming upon me to know the plot lines of various television programs, even though I work in this industry. So now I feel mortally ashamed. And I feel that I should go and watch some more television and then come back on again and sound a lot smarter than I perhaps do at this time, really not knowing so much about the latest goings-on with Jon Snow. I don't even know if the character's dead or alive at this point. Maybe we should leave it like that as a cliffhanger for, again, the other 7 people who listen to this program that haven't been watching the show.
Just to let you know,
then I can come back and I can redeem myself in your eyes and the eyes of the majority of listeners who do know what's going on television and in the world.
No, just as long as you can extract like numbers out of music, you're pretty smart. You're smarter than I am.
Numbers out of mucus?
Music.
Yes. And numbers out of music. I heard cucumbers out of mucus. Well, let me tell you something. Extracting numbers out of music is probably about as challenging as extracting cucumbers out of mucus. But perhaps I can do both, and then I would really be an uber geek.
That would be interesting.
Both being able to do mathematics out of music, as well as to pull garden vegetables out of
your nose.
You'd be quite something.
I know. I will be. HBO would ask me to do something. I don't know.
I think they would, and they've got that workspace here in Hollywood. Well, you don't know. I said that workspace. They've got a workspace here in Hollywood where you can go and sort of put up a show about cucumbers and mucus and operas. You will be a cultural hero.
I know, the Cucumber Mucus Show.
Yes, it has a ring to it, doesn't it? Not quite as much as the title of your program now, but it's there. But in any case, I absolutely thank you for having me on the air. I've got to do a voiceover actually at 6:30 for one of the networks who seem to want to have some promotional announcement of some sort on the air. So
sure.
I shall have to leave you, but I thank you tremendously for having me on.
Not a problem.
I'll be happy to go study. You don't have to have me on for a whole segment. Next thing, you can just have me on for a little bit, and we can have a Q&A. You can kind of drill me and see if I've perhaps been paying better attention to television.
Well, it's not that big of a deal, sir. Well,
right,
again, thank you so much for being on the show and taking your time out from your busy schedule to be on the show.
Absolutely.
And folks, this is Ben Patrick Johnson, and you're listening to Riot Radio. And right now, we're going to take a break, and we're going to listen to Depeche Mode's "Personal Jesus." Take it away.
This is the all-new Riot Radio. Total variety, partial sanity, a crazy unique mix of talk shows and music shows. RiotRadioRocks.com and Facebook.com/RiotRadioRocks. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Riot Radio Rocks.
Maryville Pawn and Collectibles is locally owned and operated. They are a trading post of all things. If it's legal, they will buy it, sell it, or trade for it. Liz is one of the friendliest owners you will ever meet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 p.m., and Saturdays, 9 to 5 p.m. p.m. Maryville Pawn and Collectibles is located on 159, just south of the intersection of 159 and 162 in Maryville, Illinois. The address, 2929A North Center Street. Give them a call, 618-288-7870, or email at maryvillepawn@aol.com. You can also find them on Facebook, Maryville Pawn and Collectibles. And when you go there, tell Liz Riot Radio says hello.
Hey, this is Joe from the JoeDWhite Talks radio program, and you're listening to Riot Radio. This is Joe from the JoeDWhite Talks radio program, and I have Brian on the line. Hello, Brian. How you doing?
Good. How are you tonight?
I am awesome. I was sweating all the way up from here, and then there was a traffic jam, and then I was thinking, I can do some work early, and then I got stuck in the traffic jam. I don't know what's going on. The past 2 weeks, I've seen like maybe 6 or 8 traffic accidents.
It's all that construction.
Well, yeah, it's all that construction, and what was that? Ooh, okay.
You know, but were you talking about Captain America?
Sure.
Yeah, you know, I, when it comes to those guys, I don't know how he competes with all the other superheroes in that group because he's just a regular guy. I know he's scientifically enhanced, but you know, Tony Stark has the suit, has the Iron Man suit with all the weapons and everything,
Right.
and the ability to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Archer, and you got the rest of them. But I don't know how he's part of that. I love Captain America, by the way.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from with that. He is, I wouldn't say immortal, but he was injected with something called super serum by the Stark Lab, and he can heal himself rather quickly. He has super strength. He can run very fast. And he has a lot of tools on his disposal. You know, the shield and everything.
Well, do they ever say what his shield's made of?
Well, I don't believe so. Not in the films. But it is based off a very special metal that that was developed by Stark Industries. And just 1 second.
So is well, that makes sense because then it could be the same metal that are used to make the Iron Man suits that give him the armament there. I hadn't thought of that.
I'm looking at the origin of the shield. Oh wow.
We have opened the phone lines up, and there's all kinds of calls coming in, Joe.
Oh, good Lord.
I know.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, Brian is the host of the Impact Zone. Brian does an awesome
Yes,
show on Riot Radio.
He does, yeah.
Good to hear from you, Brian.
Yeah, good to hear from you.
Hey, great. No problem. It's an interesting show.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's I try to have something unique that people can listen to. So.
And you call it like a geek chic? Is that what you kind of call it?
It's called Geek Chic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Geek chic.
Yes.
Here's a question I have though, and
Sure.
this is really a question I've had for a long time.
Absolutely.
And it goes because I'm a big Superman fan, and
Brian?
Did we lose him?
I don't know. Brian? I think we lost him.
He got so excited about Superman. Yeah. Brian, you there?
Brian?
Isn't live radio great?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Brian, give us a call back.
Yeah,
if
Brian,
you're
call us back.
lost. Call us back. Let's go to the next caller.
All right, let's see. Another caller coming in here. But until we get to... here we go. You're on Riot Radio.
Hello?
JoeDWhite Talk Show.
Yes.
oh, sorry, this is Brian again. I dropped off for some reason.
Oh,
hit a
you were
bad
talking about
spot.
Superman.
Right. Well, actually, what I was getting to is Batman.
Batman.
Because in the original Batman movie, he was picking guys up with one arm and holding them off the side of a building, but they never explained where Batman gets his strength from. Is it the suit? But I didn't. And he's got all these cool toys that he develops, but I never understand where he gets the strength from.
Just normal weightlifting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. If you've seen Batman versus Superman, he goes through his own
I haven't seen that
entire.
yet.
Yeah, you might want to check it out. There's a lot of people that didn't like it. There was a lot of people that didn't like it. So it's a comic book film that's split. But if you're looking for a great popcorn flick, it's in my opinion it's decent. It's not the best, but it's not the worst.
Right.
But there's some people that just forget that Batman had a suit. George Clooney was Batman. The suit had bat nipples. He had a bat credit card, and Alicia Silverstone was Batgirl. I mean, you gotta take some things in perspective.
Right. Wait, because when they had when he had Chris O'Donnell that
Right.
played Robin.
Right.
See, now Robin made perfect sense because of where his background as an acrobat in the circus.
Right.
That made perfect sense. But the funny thing when you're mentioning the films and George Clooney, my favorite Batman was actually Val Kilmer.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot of people tell me I'm crazy, but
He wasn't.
and I think Christian Bale did a good job.
He did.
But I like Val Kilmer the best.
You might like Ben Affleck. If you haven't seen Daredevil, I wouldn't watch it. It's terrible. But good actors, go into bad films. Ryan Reynolds did Deadpool twice.
Right.
One in X-Men Origins, and this one in his solo film. The X-Men Origins really screwed it up.
Now I'm hearing that the Deadpool film is. I mean, there are parts that aren't for children.
It's not
Like,
for kids. It's a rated R film.
That was a little bit disappointing. I wish they would have made that more towards, without the sex. I just didn't think that was necessary. But I don't know. What do I know about it?
I mean,
Maybe.
the comic books are not for kids either. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. You think, oh, this is, everybody can like this film. No, not the film, but the TV show. But it's not for kids either. It's a comic book for adults.
Well, you bring up The Walking Dead. I won't watch that. Zombies scare me. I won't be able to sleep.
Really?
Oh, heck yeah. I don't watch anything that has to do with zombies, vampires, none of that stuff.
I can't imagine Brian being scared of anything.
Dude, zombies and clowns.
Zombies and clowns.
For me,
So if you got a zombie clown, I'm going to lose my mind.
then I wouldn't recommend Killer Clowns from Outer Space, dude. That's.
But, I'll tell you, the fact that they're making all these superhero movies is awesome because I loved all of those guys as a kid.
Right.
And to see them, brought to life on the screen. And I think Chris Evans does a great job as Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because my oldest brother, I come from a family of 9 kids. There's 8 boys. And so my brother became the disciplinarian in the family after my dad died. And he never did anything wrong. I mean, so his nickname, we called it was actually derisive, but we called him Captain America.
Right.
And behind his back, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we always, we always had those comic books around and, watched anything that had to do with superheroes. But, we still refer to him as with the initials CA, and that's what we used to call him.
Wow.
But, yeah, great memories those things bring back. And I think it's really cool that the kids today, my son's all into that, X-Men and the Marvel stuff. And, I just think that's really cool.
Right. I'm really tempted to go see the Apocalypse film. That's going to be another 2.5 hour movie. And then Suicide Squad's coming out pretty soon. That's going to be another 2 hour movie. And then
Are you a fan of the Iron Man films?
first 2 were great. The last one was not that great.
Yeah, I agree with you. The first two, yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
They really messed up the
think,
Mandarin.
Right. Robert Downey Jr., talk about a guy that's turned his life completely around.
Right.
And is a great story as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Just his level of acting has just gone through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's just one of my favorites, and I just think he did a great job in the first two Iron Men, and really made it enjoyable, but also cool.
Well, for me, it was not the acting in the last film that was not great. It was the story.
Right.
They had this villain called the Mandarin, and he was an imposter actor. And the real Mandarin was a business executive. I'm like, no. The Mandarin is an actual alien that has several power rings, kind of like Hal from the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan from the Green Lantern. He's got several powerful rings, and he has a lot of these powers. But I don't know if the major studios thought of the budget or what they were thinking when they were creating the plot. Because when you have a comic book or any book that you're trying to transfer over to a major movie, you have to change a few plot points, you have to change a few details, so you can transfer that over to into film, because you have production money, you have actors, you just basically have physical limitations. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, I don't know if you ever. I'm older than you, and so when I was really young, I used to like to watch the Green Hornet on television. And I don't know if you remember, but Bruce Lee.
Yep.
That's where Bruce Lee got his acting start, was as Kato in the Green Hornet.
Right.
And Green Hornet's a great concept, but when they brought it to the screen and Seth Rogen was the Green Hornet, and they kind of made it goofy, I think they really missed an opportunity there to really make a franchise film, because there are a lot of Green Hornet fans out there.
Exactly. They a lot of movie studios do kind of make that mistake. They make a screw up on the first film, and then there's missed opportunity for like a huge franchise after that. It was kind of like with Batman versus Superman. They were planning on making several Man of Steel films, but they got canceled because Batman versus Superman didn't do very well.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was projected to make over $1 billion, and they only made $860 million.
Only.
Well, yeah, only, but I mean that's worldwide. They were because it takes a lot of money now to market and promote a film.
Right.
So you got not only the production budget, you got advertising budgets, you got all these actors that are going out to promote the film at different events, like the San Diego Comic-Con or whatnot, and they're actually paid to do that. They're not doing that on their free will. So they gotta make all that math work, and they were expecting over $1 billion to make some kind of a profit, and they didn't do it. So
just fell short of that.
Yeah. I know Iron Man 3 made $1.16 billion worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, if you push it out like a very popular comic book or like a geek genre, and you push it out worldwide, the people are going to grab it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Well, I really enjoy your show, and
well, thank you.
I enjoy all your knowledge about this stuff, because I really like it, but I just don't. I'm not up on all of the characters like you are, and it's helpful.
Well, I appreciate that, sir.
Oh, who's he calling sir, Darren?
You call him Brian.
Just to let you know, I do have
Mr.
a military background, so I have the habit of saying sir, ma'am.
Me too.
Mr. Dolan. I had that problem when I had my first guest on the line. And he's like, Mr.
Oh,
Johnson,
really?
what are you talking about? Just call me Ben. Like, sorry.
Well, that's a good problem to have. That's my son's the same way, so that's a good problem to have. But no, enjoy your show. I enjoy your show, and thanks for letting me call in and bend your ear a little bit and ask you
Sure.
all these questions.
Sure.
I know they're basic newbie questions, but you know, I do love those movies, and so that's cool.
Yeah. Do you know the best way to go to get educated? I would go to like a V-Stock in your area. I don't know if there's like a V-Stock or
Sure.
a used
Yeah.
comic book store, and just
Yep.
browse around. Just look around, and
Okay.
if something piques your interest, I don't know if you like video games or like a book or something to that effect, then yeah, they got comic books. It's like a warehouse of geek stuff. So I
Cool.
would definitely look around, and if something piques your interest, then go for it.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch.
Not a problem, Brian.
You guys have a good rest of the night.
You too.
See you, Brian.
See ya.
All right. See you guys.
Okay. To end the night, I want to play there's a video that's circulating around the internet. It's so viral and it's so funny. It's a girl that goes to Kohl's with her children, and she buys a Chewbacca mask and she just puts it on in front of the camera, and it's to me it's just hilarious. So go ahead and play it. It's
Hey.
just so funny.
I'm really excited to share with you something I got. Okay, I went to Kohl's today. I had to make a couple returns. Stuff didn't fit. Surprisingly, it was a little too big. Thank you. I know some of you may be thinking the opposite. Shame. No shame. It's all love. It's all love. Okay, so here's what I found when I was at Kohl's. And I'd like to say that I bought this for my son that would really, really want it. And let's be honest, he'll probably confiscate it from me. Confiscate? That's a word, right? Okay, so he'll probably take it from me. However, this is mine. Like, when it's said and done, at the end of the day, this is mine that I bought. And I'm going to keep it for my own. You can see it kind of has Star Wars. Oh, you're getting a little hint. Okay, so you want to see what I got? It's so great. I can't wait to show you. Okay. This is part of my birthday joy, still rejoicing in my birthday. And so here's what I got. I'm going to take it out of the box, and I can't wait to show you. Okay, I'm in a parking lot, and people are literally looking at me like crazy. I don't even care. Okay, so here it is. Hold on. It may be a little tight. It may be tight on me. I got to undo it just a little bit. Hold on. Stay patient, people. Stay patient. This is going to be worth it. I promise. Maybe not, but it's worth it to me, and I had to share with my friends on the internet webs. So here's what I'm having trouble getting it. Okay, patient. All right, we're doing good. Okay, so this is what I got. Once again, this is for me, not for Duncan, not for Cadence. I mean, I'll let them play with it. I'm not a bad mom. I'm not a jerk, but in all honesty, at the end of the day, it doesn't go in their toy box. It goes in my room. So here we go. I gotta take off my glasses for it. Oh, naturally. Okay, here we go. So, yes! Now watch when my mouth actually moves. That's not me making that noise, it's the mask! Here, listen. This is worth every penny! like this. Oh. Okay, now I'm going to let Chewbacca talk here. Oh my gosh, I'm in tears. Wow. That is the best birthday present ever to myself. Wow. Oh my goodness. Y'all have an incredible day. It's the simple joys.
And that lady got I think a visit from Kohl's. I think a few days after that video went viral, and her kids got Chewbacca masks, Star Wars memorabilia. I mean, they literally made it rain for her. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome, and she's right. It's the little things that give you joy. So, wow. I wonder what's going on outside. Oh, well.
There it goes, yeah.
Yeah, there it goes.
Exciting. Excitement tonight on the JoeDWhite Talk Show.
I know.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. There was an ambulance. I don't know if that was an ambulance or a fire truck. That's just weird. Okay.
So you got a couple of cool call-ins tonight?
Yeah.
Your first guest, he was out in L.A.?
Yeah, he was in Hollywood.
And you guys could have a coffee on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
You got to get out there.
I know.
Talked about writing the screenplay, man.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was Ben Patrick Johnson.
His name is Ben Patrick Johnson.
Nice. And then Brian Dolan called up. Pretty cool. The host of the Impact Zone.
Yeah.
He digs your show. Nice.
Yeah. So this is Joe from the JoeDWhite Talks radio program. You can see me on Twitter at JoeDWhite Talks. You can also visit me on Facebook at JoeDWhite Talks. You can visit my YouTube page where I have all my shows archived at the JoeDWhite Talks radio program. Now it's JoeDWhite Talks, duh. But you can reach me on Twitter at JoeDWhite Talks. I mean, it's JoeDWhite Talks. So, hope you have a great night, and thank you so much for listening. Joe from the JoeDWhite Talks radio program. Please make sure to check out my radio show every Thursday evening from 8 to 9 p.m. And also, please make sure you go to RiotRadioRocks.com for all your needs.
Who will survive the Game of Thrones?
I dream of ruling all the land.
This is the all-new Riot Radio. Total variety. Partial sanity. A crazy unique mix of talk shows and music shows. RiotRadioRocks.com and Facebook.com/Riot Radio Rocks. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Riot Radio Rocks.